Welcome back. You're watching us here on Trading Hour, and it's been so volatile so far. If you look at the intraday chart of the Nifty, you would see that, it opened lower, thereafter went back into the green, tested higher ranges, then went lower, now back into the green, up as well, up around 20 points, closer to that 25,100 mark. At one point when we started the show, it was fighting for that 25,000 mark itself. And that's what's reflected in the broader indices as well. So if you look at, the Jan series expiry right now, and that's the perfect time to get you all the updates from the F&O desk. The mid-cap index is marginally in the red. The Nifty Bank has been outperforming, especially on account of a couple of these large private sector results. And the India VIX has seen a big spike ahead of the budget, ahead of important events, ahead of expiry. And after the sort of volatility that we've seen in the market, it's understandable that the India VIX at one point, which was sub 10 sometime last week, has now rallied all the way up to closer to 15. All of this at a time when the rupee is still stable. Remember, we saw a big gash on the rupee in Friday's trading session, the second half particularly. Now it's holding around that 91.8 mark. Let's see where it goes once, the European markets start, once the US markets also, as we move towards the end of trade today. And we've gotten a nice range now for the frontline index. Today's low on the Nifty corresponds very well to the Jan 1 low. 24,920 was the Jan 21 low, after which the Nifty saw a massive recovery. And today's low, 24,932. But on the way up, the 200-day moving average is a bit of a hindrance. Why do I say that? Because today's high as well couldn't sustain a little above the 200-day moving average of 25,143. Today's high, 25,185. And that's exactly what the option writers are expecting as well. The 25,000 put, very active in trade today, 40 rupees on premium, 2.5 crore shares outstanding, telling you 24,950 or closer to today's low is where the support comes in. But as we move towards today's high, which is closer to 25,200, that's where supply comes in as well, and which is why call writers at 25,200 very active here too, nearly 2.5 crore shares, premium of 20 rupees. So the broad range for the Nifty today, 24,950 to 25,220. But then all the action after today's expiry moves into the Feb series, and that's where a lot of triggers left. You have the union budget, thereafter the RBI policy, remainder of the third quarter earnings, and any sort of update coming in on the trade deal. We've been speaking about India-EU deal, but does that happen with India-US as well or not? Will be important triggers to track as we move along. But with that, we'll take a short break, and as we do that, we do have